Ascent is arguably Valorant's most popular map. In fact, a recent tweet by Valorant Updates asked if you could choose out of Lotus, Breeze, Split, and Ascent, which map would you queue into? A large majority said Ascent, with responses saying things like, Ascent because it's the map that doesn't suck of the four, and Ascent, of course, it's the best and most balanced map in the game. But I think that this map sucks, and here's why. Earlier on this year, I made a video about what team comps were played on each map in Pro Play in 2023. Ascent had a comp that made up 81% of every team comp played. This is far higher than it was on any other map. The team comp in question is one of Omen, Killjoy, Jett, Sova, and KO. And so I wanted to go on a mission to try and find out when was the first time that this team comp was actually played. Now, KO came out in mid-2021, so it had to be after that, and whilst this isn't the exact comp and may not be the very earliest version, I did find C9 versus Rise in the North America LCQ, where Cloud9 are running the comp just with Astra instead of Omen, because Astra was OP back then, and they were basically fulfilling mostly the same role anyway. Unfortunately, the VOD of this game doesn't exist anymore, so I had to go a bit into the future to Champs 2021, where C9 are playing against Vision Strikers, now DRX, who had also picked up the comp by this time. So let's look at a couple rounds, shall we?
Rifles across the board now. Bud's actually with the Blade Storm. Looking like he might get a little bit aggressive. He's right over the top. The flash is perfect as well. Zeta will fall.
Buzz straight off the rip here, just tries to dive in and be the difference maker.
And now let's take a look at a round from DRX's most recent game on Ascent versus Loud, where they're playing that same comp.
Rising here on Ascent. A little overzealous. Hang on. Right off the rip here. Buzz all the way into tiles very early on. The pinch from B main comes through. That's on red alert right now.
What is going on? I've never seen DRX just pushing out wildly like this.
And so now let's just quickly break down what you just saw. So this is from the game from 2021, Cloud9 versus Vision Strikers, and what you're going to get is an early KO flash over here, Killjoy setup over towards A. The Astra and Sova are going to push this way with a dart that comes landing here. Your Jett is going to dash updraft and go across there on towards the top of tiles. And as we see, manages to get the first kill, right? So in we go. There goes the flash. There goes our Jett. In we go. We hit it there. And we got our Astra and Sova pushing up here with our Sova dart. Now let's come to the game from 2023. DRX versus Loud. And what do we have? We've got our KO who's going to send a flash over here. Our Jett is updrafting and dashing across. We got our Omen and Sova, so slightly different, sending out an Omen flash here. They're going to be pushing from B main. We got our Killjoy over towards A just in here. And guess what? We're even going to get the exact same dart. This game has taken almost 2 years exactly apart, and we have almost the exact same utility and idea going on. Now, those of you who are into the Valorant scene will know that that Shark's Tiles attack is a very common one that a lot of teams have done, as you can see, for a very long time, but there is more. But now let's come to round 3 of this C9 versus Vision Strikers game, where we'll see how Vision Strikers go about defaulting on this map, right? And straight away, we've got this Killjoy turret in here on top of B main, but we're going to see other bits of util that are all too familiar at this point on this map. Early KO knife towards A main in here. We're going to see a one-way smoke come up in A main from the defenders. I wonder if any of you have ever seen that before, right? And then in just a second, we're about to get a Sova dart out towards mid as well here from DRX. They're going to do a Sova dart that just comes and lands in here in a second. They smoke off the this side of mid as well. Okay, back to the modern day now, DRX versus Loud, and let's take a look at what we've got. Oh, we've already got this Killjoy turret in here, the same one that we had from before. Oh, we got this Omen one-way coming in here. Oh, they smoked off the short side of mid. I wonder if we'll get a Sova dart coming in towards mid. Whoa, there it is. I wonder if we'll get a KO knife. Haven't seen that yet towards A main. Oh, there's the KO knife towards A main. It's all pretty much the same. Let's scoot ahead to round number 6 in this game as well, and I'm just going to show you this image. I wonder if any of you have seen anything like this before. Because in this past year, some of you may remember plays like this happening.
Amount of ways in which the Loud players have protocols to get him back into aggressive spots. Here's a fast B hit.
Oh, they are just being chunked out all the way through. Kawaseen spamming it through into the grinder. My goodness.
And so really this was just to show that from 2021, when this comp first started getting played, to now there hasn't been that much change. And there is countless other examples I could have used and found from those older games as well that are still being used today. And I know what some of you who are really paying attention are thinking, wait a minute, in 2022, the meta on Ascent did change. Everyone started playing Chamber instead. And in fact, if you look at this game from Masters Copenhagen, Paper Rex versus Fnatic, you will see some very different comps like you can here, where teams are playing Chamber, teams are playing No Duelist, teams are playing Raze instead. And this was the meta in 2022.
The Frenzy.
Well,
do you
know,
remember
3
RB?
players on Light Shields, a Frenzy on Bankai for final round a half. Like, it's not ideal, but Jing's gone. He's sending it again. The reveal's huge. Jing's got 2. That play has been teased again and again. And finally, Paper Rex get the success out of it.
But there was one team in 2022 who didn't really embrace the Chamber meta on Ascent. And so let's take a look at their stats, shall we, from 2022. And let's take a look at how they did on Ascent. Oh, they went 19-1. And just to check, what comp were they playing? Oh, yeah, they were playing the meta comps. Maybe the Astra version sometimes, but yeah, still very much the meta. This team was loud, and the only time that they lost was against the meta comp as well. And so yes, there were teams like Fnatic who were playing different comps during 2022, but actually, when they started to get to Champions instead, they actually switched back to the old comp. Sure, this is slightly different, again, with a Fade instead of a Sova, but again, mostly doing the same things, and basically just the meta comp. And even Optic, who came into Champs playing a Chamber comp, and obviously had the best Chamber of all time playing on their team, even they decided to change. Because by the time we got to the Grand Final against Loud, the biggest game of their lives, even they, with Ye on their team, the best Chamber by far, had switched back to the meta comp. And so sure, teams did swap during 2022 to try out some Chamber stuff on that map, but the top teams by the end of 2022 had kind of figured out that wasn't the way to go, and Loud the whole time knew that the old meta was still the way to go. And you could point to other maps and say, well, isn't this the case, for instance, on Haven, where the meta has been fairly stale for the most part, and that is true. But this year has seen teams like Loud, NRG, Furia, The Guard bring in Viper comps on that map that are quite different, and that for the most part have done extremely well, and I would bet is going to change the meta somewhat going forward. And I get it. Ascent having a very stale meta doesn't make it a bad map, and people will play it in ranked and they will just enjoy the map for what it is. But to me, having Ascent be your favorite map is like saying your favorite ice cream flavor is vanilla. It's like saying I like music, unironically. This map got solved a long time ago, and nothing will change, and maybe people like that. But for me, for people who like the variance in Valorant, who like seeing cool new ideas in Valorant, this map sucks.